There we go. The market is open for those who are on. I'll be on in 1 second. I'm just letting some people hop on and we'll go from there. Let's do some piano or maybe some guitar instrumentals. All right. We have our viewers. Everybody's starting to roll in. Cool, 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 you guys. So it is good morning. So we have a down market today for a brief second in pre-market, but you could see how fast it snapped up early in the morning. So that's good news. We are snapping right back up. It looks like we might be continuing yesterday's rally. But before we get into that, we have to talk a little bit about what happened on the economic front. So, biggest report today is going to be the GDP report. 4.3% growth in Q3, far above the 3.2% previous forecast and the previous reading of 3.8%. So, fantastic good news for the US economy. A growing GDP, anything in the positive means our economy is growing, and would be challenging any argument of a recession. So a lot of people are afraid, or were afraid, that tariffs would eventually cause a recession, that maybe higher interest rates would cause a recession, but it didn't. It did cause a slight economic slowdown, but you can see that the US economy is back to growth, and that's probably because of a lot of exports. I did read that it was because of a lot of consumer spending that we saw a big takeoff on the GDP. So consumer spending is good for the economy, but the market may have had a negative reaction to it initially because higher consumer spending also means more demand, and more demand could spike inflation. Durable goods orders was negative 2.2%. So durable goods are anything that is like a major product that usually lasts 3 years. Think of planes, trains, ships, anything that's appliances, heavy machinery. So these are large items. You can see that the U.S. manufacturers had a slight drop in October, and but bounced back slightly. But it looks like they did drop negative 2.2%. So not a very good print. That could also have supported that downside move. Industrial production. So how is U.S. manufacturing doing? It looks like it also fell. So GDP is growing, but on the industrial side, it looks like U.S. manufacturing is not growing, which was part of the agenda that Trump had for us. He wanted U.S. manufacturing to grow, but it looks like it lagged behind in the last few months. And capacity utilization is how well is the U.S., how much of U.S. manufacturing is being used, and it looks like around 75%, which is healthy, because if it's like 80%, that means we'd be risking inflation. Anything below 75% would be too slow. So it looks like we're utilizing the industrial capacity pretty well. And then in about 23 minutes, we'll have the consumer confidence report. That's going to give us a little more insight on how consumers are feeling. We kind of already know because of such a strong GDP print, but nonetheless, let's see how consumers are feeling about the economy in the U.S. for December in 20 minutes. We'll get to that. Now back to the charts. We have SPY. It fell just shy of breaking out of that 686 mark yesterday. Remember, we actually talked about it early in the morning. We said that there's a good chance that SPY is going to stay sideways yesterday until we get some more some more economic data. And we did this morning. Economic data was good. GDP growth is probably the biggest highlight from all those reports, and that's going to be the headline everywhere we go. So let's actually pull up CNBC. It's probably going to be the headline. Yep, breaking news. GDP report dampened outlook for Fed rate cuts. So this headline right here came out probably when the market was down on the lower side, because it does indeed. So strong GDP report shows that the US economy accelerates faster than expected. But what that does is that lowers the chances of an interest rate cut from the Fed, because a strong economy can lead to inflation. So audio is working, but image is frozen. Let me know if that's still the case. Is that still the case? Am I still frozen? Do I need to go back and come back in? Let me know if you could hear me. Okay, it's frozen for you. All right, let me get out and come back in here. Okay, I'll send a new link for those of you in the group, and then for those of you who are online, just go ahead and rejoin in just a moment.